Is Grace Ashcroft the perfect Resident Evil protagonist? Well, that's what the title says, and maybe you clicked on this video thinking it was just clickbait. But honestly, I'm being pretty serious. Let me explain why. And yes, there will be spoilers for the game. Resident Evil is survival horror at its core, but that hasn't stopped the horror elements from sort of fluctuating throughout the years. We've had scary games, action games, and everything in between. Resident Evil Requiem decided to mash both into one, giving us two protagonists with two very different game styles. And Grace's parts of the game might just be the best representation of survival horror in the series for one simple reason. Grace isn't special. Almost every main Resident Evil character is special in some way. Chris and Jill are already highly trained officers in the original Resident Evil. Leon is a cop and then a special agent. Ada's a spy, Sherry Birkin has extreme regeneration. Now you might be thinking to yourself, hey, weird raccoon guy, you didn't mention Ethan or Claire. Well, Ethan wasn't special, until it was retconned that he died 3 seconds into the Baker house and was a mold man for the rest of RE7 and RE8. But Claire is the closest to being as unspecial as Grace. But she was kind of a confident badass biker chick from the get-go, and let's not forget that Chris is her older brother, so she's sort of special adjacent. Now I hear you again. Hey buddy, Grace is with the FBI. Well, you're correct, but she's just an analyst. Not everyone in the FBI or CIA is a special agent or even has field experience. Same thing goes with the military. And as far as we're shown, she's just a skittish desk jockey. RE9 does something brilliant though. Throughout the whole game, we are constantly told that Grace is special. It was even one of the first things shown to us in the game trailers. Everyone needs her for something, and we the players have to assume that she's gotta have some special properties or abilities like Sherry or Rose. But then, the big twist in the end, nope, not special at all. Just a normal human that Oswald Spencer took in as a slight atonement for his sins. What an awesome reveal. The other best part about Grace? She has real, tangible personality and character development. She's a highly traumatized young woman. She stutters, she shakes, she barely controls her breathing. There are parts of the game where she's shown to be extremely hesitant and has to struggle to make decisions. At one point, after she thinks that she's lost Emily, she just sort of gives up. She's tired of it all and resigns to her fate. That's a real human reaction. But then later she comes back around, she decides to help Leon, she resolves to defeat Marie, she makes her own informed decision on Elpis, and she wins in the end. We then see her later on as a much more confident person who's raising Emily and staying in touch with Leon and Sherry. There's never been a Resident Evil protagonist with this much complexity and absolutely nothing special about them. And that's what makes Grace such a good character and a great survival horror protagonist. And please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to imply that every other RE character is boring or one note, but Grace feels like a real, fallible flesh and blood person. With all that said, I'm still ride or die for Jill. Let me know your thoughts. I'm guessing this might be a divisive opinion, so tell me all about it in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and see you next time.